Hi, you've made a smart decision to take the time to develop your relationship selling skills. I'm Anita from relationshipselling.org, and in this video I'm going to go over 9 easy steps to help you close the sale. These steps will go far in separating you from your competition. The first step in relationship selling for the anatomy of a good sales process is your opening statement. Now, your opening statement is really your door into the building. If that door would close, you'll never be able to re-enter it. It's that simple. It's very crucial that you take these few seconds up front and make the most of them with your customer or your prospect. Be very aware of their time, be very aware of their needs, and understand your ability to resolve their problems with your product or your service. It's a marriage of the two. Keep them wanting more as you move them through the sales process. The second step is the benefits. What is your offer or your product, and what are the benefits of this product or offer? It's important to remember in this step that it's really all about your customer or your prospect's needs. Keep your finger on the emotional triggers from your initial conversation. Remind them of their pain and help them to understand that what you're going to do is you're going to present solutions that are going to help resolve the problems for them as you gradually move them into introducing your product or your service as the solution to those problems. The next step is to prove it. It's not enough to tell them that you have the answer to their problem and that your product is the solution, because everyone believes that their product is the solution, but you need to prove it with real-life examples which apply directly to the core of your customer situation. It's very important at this step that you've done your homework before the meeting so that you can match your product or the service that you're offering with a solution to your customer's problem. Make a list of the benefits that they'll receive from using your solution. This is a step where you can create your USP, your unique selling proposition. What separates you from everyone else out there? And be sure that these benefits align with the problems and the key triggers that you should have taken note of in your first conversation with them. It's very important in this step that you're able to prove to your customer or your prospect that you have something that is going to help to solve their problem, and this is why. Next are your special guarantees and your bonuses. And these are usually always very important. Sometimes they're overlooked, but it's important to remember that guarantees are a feature of your product. They are not a benefit of using your product. In other words, if you offer a 90-day money-back unconditional guarantee, the feature of that is that it takes away risk. And this is immediately putting your customer at ease, and it's going to help them to move forward without stalling them at the prospect. They're not going to get stuck thinking, oh, is this something I don't want? Is this something I can't use? Am I going to be throwing away all this money? And they get stuck with something that I don't want. This is going to totally eliminate that up front so that your customer or your prospect can now clear their mind and continue moving forward. Don't let them get stuck in that process, because if they do, they will never be able to move forward. So be sure that you offer a special guarantee and a bonus that will help them to take that next step. Next is your price. The price is always a stumbling block for most people, but it's really only in your mind. People buy on their emotions, and it's important to remember that. They buy what they want, not what they need. And they'll explain it away later with logic, but if you hit the right triggers up front, by the time you get to the price, they're going to be ready to sign. If you don't build it to that point, if you don't do it correctly, price will definitely be an issue, and it's going to stop the sales process in its tracks. But if you do it correctly, by the time you get to the price, that customer or that prospect will actually be amazed and say, wow, I thought it was going to be a lot more. Yeah, they'll be chomping at the bit to buy your product or your service. This is why it's very crucial to learn and to take the steps and to do them in the proper order, so that by the time you get to your price, the solution that you've offered is so important to that prospect or that customer that they'll spend anything at that point to buy what you have, because it's going to solve their problem. Next is the call to action. You have to ask for the sale. So many people literally drop the ball at this point. They're afraid to come out and ask for the sale. They think that they are actually, doing something that they shouldn't be doing. They're forcing that prospect or that customer to make a decision. That's absolutely not what you're doing. You don't get what you don't ask for. And sales is the exact same thing. If you don't ask for the sale, you're not going to get it. Because that customer and that prospect is never going to say to you, after you've gone through all of this to present this to them, "Oh, let me buy it now." You have to build up to this point effortlessly and flawlessly. And don't blow it when it comes time to ask. Just simply ask. "So are you ready to purchase this so that you can solve your problem?" Just do it. You'll be amazed at how many times that customer or prospect says, "Yeah, I'm ready." Next is your objection resolutions. As you move along through the process, objections become easier and easier to handle properly, but a lot of people dread objections. The important thing to remember with objections, and you're going to get them, is they are not a bad thing. They're actually usually a good thing. It means that your customer or prospect is listening, and they're giving you permission to continue moving forward. They just need a little more clarity, and they need to understand a little more what it is you're offering. Remember, they're making a purchase, and this is very important to them. Remove the sale from your mind and understand that when a customer or prospect is asking you questions, that's good. This is when all of your hard work and homework come into play. If you learn this, and if you apply it properly, objections actually will be welcomed. And this is going to be your opportunity to really shine, because you're going to be able to overcome these objections with great solutions for your customer. Now we come down to the call to action, closing the sale. This is really why you're doing all of this. This is the reason you've started on this journey, and hopefully it's going to end in a sale and a win-win for both you and your customer or prospect. Not always right away, but this is what you're building up to. Once again, when it comes time to close the sale, remember and remind them of the pain and the problem that they had, and use this to constantly go back to close the deal. Book the appointment, get their information, and make the sale. That's it. That's really what you need to do. Then you're done. Now, the last step and the most crucial step in your sales process, and this is what relationship selling is really all about: building good, solid relationships with a customer or a prospect. Follow up. It may be the last step, but it's not the least. It's probably the most important. It's imperative that you have a good follow-up system. It's what separates relationship selling really from traditional selling. The follow-up is extremely important. Whether it be a phone call, an email, a card in the mail, it doesn't matter. As long as you have a good system in place, and you should have a system in place for a 5-day, a 14-day, a 30-day, and ongoing follow-up system to be sure that your customer or prospect is satisfied and happy with your product. And even if they don't purchase, follow-up is still essential, because so many customers are not ready at that point in time to make a purchase for whatever reason, but down the road they do, and they will. But if you drop the ball with the follow-up, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose all of those customers, and you're going to lose all those sales. So don't do all of these steps and then drop the ball at the follow-up. It's extremely crucial, and it's extremely important to make sure you have a good follow-up system in place for your customer and your prospect. Following these 9 steps when building relationships and carrying it through the entire sales process will really help you to increase your profits. It's going to help you to retain customers, and it will almost always guarantee repeat business. I'm Anita from relationshipselling.org, and thank you for watching this video.